Peace and love. Very interesting story time for you today. Thank you for sitting and holding space and sharing this now moment with me. I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it because I'm trying to make my videos sharp, concise, and sweet and to the point and not super long. Ooh, is this the mailman? Anyhow, so if it does wind up being a little too long, I guess technically you can't do it on these videos because they're light language videos, but on any of my other videos that you watch, I recommend if it's a little too long, just put the playback speed at like 1.25 and you'll still receive the beautiful messages that have been just flowing out. Okay. I hope I'm finding you well. I hope I'm finding you excited for what we will be working through today and working with today, because it's something I shared in my last video, is that all of these light language videos that I do and will continue to do are based on things that I have experienced within myself personally, things that I'm currently going through, things that I am healing with, and I decided to take us on a healing journey together and let you know that it's not like I'm just like, hey, let me offer this to you and I've never been through it or experienced it. It's definitely something that I've experienced firsthand, and I'm going to clean my camera because it looks a little dirty, but it's definitely things that I've experienced firsthand. And so to make a long story short, my last relationship was very narcissistic and emotionally, mentally, not really physically, but mostly, well, technically physically, abusive. And a lot of my experiences within that partnership, I like blocked out mentally and like kind of PTSD'd myself. So there'll be these times and moments where I'll have a memory and I'll think about like an experience I had, like something will trigger a memory, and then as I sit in the memory, I don't feel good. I feel like I'm still in the trauma, which is what post-traumatic stress disorder is. PTSD is like it's past, the moment is gone, but you still experience stress and trauma from the experience when you tap into it. And so I've been noticing that come up within me, but I wasn't necessarily sharing it with anybody because I was like, why is this still bothering me? I'm not even there anymore. And I was like, I was using the Dr. Bronner shampoo one day, and I was reading the bottle in there, and it was talking about PTSD, and I read the definition on it. I was like, oh snap, am I experiencing some of that? I don't claim to have those things, but I definitely do experience things. So it's like, I think I'm experiencing some of that. And so I've been having some dreams recently about my previous partner, and it hasn't really been like super obvious blatant dreams, but dreams are meant to be interpreted. And I pray to Archangel Michael every night to protect, but also to bring any kind of dreams or activations, downloads, messages that are meant to be received in the dream world that are to be interpreted in the day walk. And so yesterday I woke up and I had a dream about my last partner, and it was like a sexual kind of dream. It was like tapping me into some of the experiences I had experienced with him in our partnership. And I was like, I remember it was enough because the other dreams I had been having about him, it was just kind of like him, and then like he was just kind of bothering me, or just kind of there, and I was just kind of like annoyed because I was like, I want to be having some like dreams where I'm talking to my Pleiadian sisters. I want to be like in Lemuria. I want to be on Arcturus in my dreams. Like, what's going on? Why am I not getting these? But it's because there was some work to be done within myself, and so they had been showing him, but it hadn't been enough for me to really interpret it. And so I think they made it sexual for the purpose of being like, okay, well, clearly now you're going to interpret it because it bothered you. And so I did, and I sat in meditation yesterday with my dream, and I was like, why is that coming up? And as I like was sitting with it, immediately it was like, oh, I need to cut more cords. And when I had first exited the partnership, I did a cord cutting ceremony, a ritual, what have you, and the bathtub. And I found a video on YouTube, and it called to Archangel Michael, and I really enjoyed. Like, I listened to it first before I did it, and I really enjoyed it, so I did it in the bathroom. I felt cords being cut. I felt that, but what I thought was interesting, my partner mentioned it too. And like a side note of it, when I was doing it yesterday and I sat in meditation, I called to Archangel Michael, and he came with me to each moment that I experienced trauma with my partner, which was like 50 plus times. I didn't realize how much trauma I had been experiencing until I did that. But, and as you watching this video, you know just as much as me that a lot of times as an empath, as a light worker, as anyone who is working from the heart space in a unhealthy partnership with someone, that a lot of times you'll experience that trauma and you will put it somewhere in an effort to focus on healing and helping the other person who just traumatized you. And so I didn't realize how much trauma I had stored within myself and how much I was experiencing too, because a lot of times it's like you experience like a traumatic moment throughout the day, and it's just like that one thing throughout that day. So the rest of the day isn't too bad, so then you kind of just ignore it. But then I was noticing, wow, it's like something, at least something, like one time a day, and there's some kind of. So Michael and I went on a very long journey together yesterday, cutting all these cords, and so I would visualize the moments in the trauma, and I would have scissors and I would cut. But then Archangel Michael would also cut, and his sword dissolved the cords. And that's why I bring up my partner, because he said that he heard somewhere that you're not just supposed to cut them, because then there's still like the ability for them to reattach. But Archangel Michael was with me, and so he used his sword to cut through, and I saw the connections dissolve away. And what I thought was interesting was, for like the last maybe 2 or 3 weeks, my partner has been experiencing, and I'm almost done talking, I promise we'll get to the light language. Thank you for holding space. I appreciate this. In the last 2 to 3 weeks, my partner has been experiencing a lot of solar and sacral blockages within his own body, and I hadn't been experiencing any. Like, I've been fine with like my digestive system. I haven't been noticing anything like that, but my partner was experiencing a lot of blockages between his sacral and his solar. And I think, especially him being a Jupiter in Pisces, I think he just psychically, subconsciously was taking on ailments for me. And so I felt even more responsibility, like, oh snap, I need to really check in on my own sacral and solar. And I had just completely been like, I guess because I had been blocking out like trying to forget that I even experienced all of that, a lot was there that still needed to be worked on. And so I did all of that yesterday, and then I shared it with my partner, and I was wondering, as I was sitting with him, I was like, I feel like, especially if some people are having dreams about previous partners, or there are things coming up from, especially within the last timelines that we've been in for like the last 2 or 3 years, there are most likely partners that you still like have some kind of cords connected to, moments that you experienced that held trauma for you that you've tried to forget. And so that's what I felt come up within myself. And I was very grateful to Archangel Michael and my guides for giving me the dream, even though I didn't really want to have it, because it was something that I did need to address. And it isn't always easy to address that, like, dang, I was just letting myself be like emotionally and mentally and physically just like beat up on for sake of really wanting to, like, oh, I can help, oh, I can, and just totally missing the point. And some of the moments I had yesterday cutting cords, my guides would be there and be like, do you see how this was not healthy? Do you see how you were not in your power? Do you see how you gave it away? Do you see how this is not a healthy dynamic? Like, really wanting me to understand that, because I feel that I am going to be holding space and place for a lot of people who have experienced some traumatic relationships, or traumatic, not even with a partner, just relationships in general. And so my guides called me to talk about this and share it, because I also don't want you guys to just see me like come up here and be like, hey, I'm going to do a light language for this, and like not understand why it's come up or know anything about what I've been experiencing, because it does help you to understand that, like, I am going through my own journey as well. And it's in a journey of healing self that I'm also offering the healing for us as like a little star family, because a lot of us are or have gone through experiences such as these that are still affecting us energetically, and they're subconscious, so you don't notice them. And a lot of times those things arise within us, or like my partner was holding the ailments for me, or within our environment. He worked at the farm last week and realized on the peace path that there was a huge tree that fell and blocked the path from the sacral to the solar. And I was like, what is this coming up for? I kept reading thinking it was just about him, and it was definitely not just about him, it was about me as well. And I really wanted to take responsibility for the blockages too, considering the fact that my partner and I occasionally connect physically, and I want our physical connection to be something that is free of any other outside attachments, as we do not consent to any infringements. So now that I'm basically 10 minutes into talking, I didn't think it was going to take me that long, I am going to burn some Palo Santo for us. And I just want to say that you choosing to click on this video and hold and share some space with me really lets me know and understand that like you are stronger than you think you are, and that you are worth more. And you probably already know this, or maybe you need to be reminded. You're worth more than what you may be currently experiencing or what you have experienced, and that it really is important for us to go back into some of those memories and make sure we're still physically feeling the effects of those. Because sometimes I would know, because I would be like going back into the memory and feel it in my body. So thank you for clicking on this, and thank you for being open to receiving some light language healing by way of removing some of these past relationship trauma and blocks within our physical and energetic body. And so I'm going to burn some palo because it brings in positive healing vibrations. I'm almost done with this one, obviously, but I like to use it till there's no more left. Pleiadian emissaries of light, Pleiadian emissaries of light, Pleiadian emissaries of light, Pleiadian sisters, Pleiadian sisters, Pleiadian sisters. Electra, 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 Merope, Merope, Merope. The Mirroring Ancestors, the Mirroring Ancestors, the Mirroring Ancestors. Lemu. Arcturian Ancestors, Arcturian Ancestors, Arcturian Ancestors. Archangels, Archangels, Archangel Michael, Archangel Michael, I call to you now. I call to you now to be present here with us as we move into the light language portion of this video. I ask that you sit in some peace and light and love with us, and hold a large space for those of us who are here who will be tapping into some memories and some experiences that we'd rather forget, but is necessary to heal in order to move forward. So thank you, archangels, ancestors, and guides, for holding space for us here. I ask you, thank you. First, I thank you. Let you know that I love you as well, and I got your back, and we're here together. We're in this together. And if you would like to enter into this portal with me in this now moment, then simply take a nice deep inhale in, long exhale, drop into the body. Allow yourself to be open to receiving some healing, to allow things to rise to the surface so that they may be acknowledged, thanked, and simply sent away, so that there is more space within your body to receive your light, to receive your highest vibration. Sometimes it's not a one-time thing, and I'm a personal testament to that, but that is the magic and power of light language, Reiki, energy healers. Please, they are out here doing what they do. I'm out here doing what I do for a purpose, for a reason. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and sit in a moment of silence with you first. Allow the guides to come in, and we shall begin our light language healing. Asasai Gaia Sekakono Sosoku Anayakaya. Asasi Kegaya Sayanaya Kesai Kesesu Kono Asai Gaya Saka. Usosoko Asasaiya. Usokoso Asai Kayana Sekeki Akasahiseko Soko no Asai Sekeya. Usokoso Akasaki Anayakasayawa Yasaika. Usokoso Anaisake Kaikasawa. Usosoko no Sokosasi Akosokoso Ikanaike Sefoko Anaika Isayanaike Sawa. Yusokosoko no Ayata Sasesia Sakanai Kokosoko Kono no Sosoa Sasai Sakono Sosoa Sasi Kanaika Efoko no Sokokoso. Usosokono, sososokono, sono, sosoiana, ikasasasekono, kosoa. Usoko soso, sosokono, iakana, ikaya foko, sosoana, ikaya tatasisia, wana, ikaya sesia. Ukososono, iana, isekesi, kana, ikatato, soko, sosuno, ayakasasekaya, yayawosoa, pesokoko, iana, ikasasa, ikasenoto, sokusoewa. Asana ikai sayaka o sokono so yana ya ikai sayana ya koawa sisi ya kana ikai te sisi o koso o kono soko asasasi kana ika kaki seke sisi kikana ya koso ana ikai ya o soko no soko ana ika tata sisi sasi kana sisi kakasana ya sasa Usokono sosoko hasaika sasakakani sisi kana sisi ana kakokono sokoko no soso ana isase kana sisi kana isai sasawa kasai sakana sisi Kana isase kono no ana ikaya sakana sasawa kana ikase kana titi kana sokoko asasi Esa sasikana isekana kono sokokono asasikana ikakokosoa Isesena sasikiki kana isasawa kana itatasakana sosofukono so Esena ikana natasa sasakane kokosono kototosono sosoko Esana ikana ya fafufuro kosono ikana isaseke yana ikana isono kono sokuro kono ika isasi ikana ikana tatasa kana isekano sokono osono kono ika isase kana ika kono i tatanasa ikana ikatatasa no isasasa ikasa sokono ayakasa ikisia kosokono soko ai kana itete sai kasakana ika sakai sokoko ana sakiketi sesiki sasokono sosoko ana sokosono asaki sesana saika isa wako toso asai sesi ana yakaya wafo no soyo Esese kane kikisi kane kai kasane kawokoso Ikane sasa kane sasa sikana ikai kau kono sokoro sosoko ina ikai sayana ikai tata isakana yoko soso ina ikai osoko Isasa kane isa susuro sosono sokokoa Esenika isa sasiki ikafuno soko sono seseya yana ikasayika ono soko sisi kana isasi kano koso to sono ikai sai kai ono so ai kai sane te se kana isasawa Sosoi, sesosoro, kosoi, sasanai, kai, sasakanai, sasai, kai, sasasi, kanika, okono, toto, so kosoi, ayana, kai, sewana, katati, sakanai, sayawa. Esane, keke, mono, soko, raikani, tete, sanai, popo, anai, kai, mopo, soko, anai, kai, sanata, sa. Asanai seki kanai sakakoko soko toto soko na saseki nai sakakana ikatata sesefo kono soko Asasasi kanai sekoko so anai kai sasawa kanai saseki kanai katete sekana seyo hosoku Ese sasakoro wa yasasasubu sokono soko sokono so wasai sakanaika tatasasisia. Hasasekanai sakokono aye kanata saki kana sokokono sakanai tatatasa. Usokono wasai sasikanai sasi. Oso asasana ikai kanatata sawakei. Oso kono sasase kanaita tasi sisiki sasasa sisiki sasakana sasiyatayasa. For your light, thank you for your love, thank you for being a healer, thank you for holding space, thank you for holding and remaining in your light.